And I take this opportunity to welcome you all live to the CIMAGE YouTube channel. And my name is Anand Singh, and I'm a part of CIMAGE, and where I'm a faculty in English. So, and I know we are all going through tough times as of now, but let us get some positivity into us, and let us look at the future. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, I assure you, as we are making some uh, we're making some measures, we're making some head start, and I'm sure that we'll probably have to redesign our lives, but everything is going to be okay. On that note, let me just inform you that you can always press the bell icon on the CIMAGE YouTube page so that you get regular updates. And because all the faculties of CIMAGE, be it from management, IT, and of course English, uh, will be there live on a regular basis. So you can make the most of the opportunity. Remember, the show must go on. And very soon things will come our way. And today I am going to talk about a very important lesson which all of us at some point of time have made presentations either in school or in college. We were asked to make presentations uh, regarding a PowerPoint presentation explaining a project or maybe our views. So this is an integral part of every student, and it doesn't end with your student days. It carries on onto your college days as well. So into your college days, and of course when you become full-fledged professionals, when you join a company, when you join an organization, there too you're required to make these PowerPoint presentations. So today we're going to touch on that. I'm sure most of us develop cold feet at the sound of making presentations, or in front of an audience when you have to present your research topic or your project. Then we all become nervous, we become jittery, and we want to hide under the bed or something like that. Today we're going to challenge all that in our presentations. So we're going to challenge that, and at the end, I hope that you, after you've imbibed these points or these tips, you will become better presenters, and you will probably be even to develop that wow factor which every presenter looks forward to. So the PowerPoint presentation, let's just look into the definition of what exactly is a PowerPoint presentation. आखिर में PowerPoint presentation है क्या? So a presentation is the process of presenting a topic to an audience. It is typically a demonstration, introduction, lecture, or speech meant to inform, persuade, inspire, motivate, or to build goodwill, or to present a new idea or product. So इस चीज़ में जो सबसे बड़ी जो चीज़ है वो आप अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अपना पर्सपेक्टिव लोगों के समक्ष रख रहे हैं. And when you do that, the idea is to sell them either a concept or an idea or a product or any service that you advocate for, that you can vouch for. तो अगर आप किसी चीज़ में endorse करते हैं कोई आइडिया को, तो आप लोगों के समक्ष उसको रखते हैं. So that is basically what is meant by the presentation. How do we go about it? So इसमें कुछ points जो है वो presentation के पहले, जब आप actual presentation कर रहे हैं उसके पहले के points हैं जो हम लोग को prepare करना होता है presentation के लिए. So first and foremost, you must prepare yourself thoroughly, and give yourself plenty of time to prepare thoroughly. As last moment जो firefighting करना पड़ता है उसमें हम और भी nervous हो जाते हैं, and we lose out on things which are important. So if we want to encourage ourselves, we must start with plenty of time, when we have plenty of time at hand. So that's the best time to begin. Gather all the information that you need. Scour the internet, go to a library, look at the journals or a magazine, get all the information that you need for a particular topic. Once you've selected a particular topic, you need to look after all the relevant information, gather them, and then use them wisely. किसी भी प्रेजेंटेशन में जो विजुअल्स होते हैं उनका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण रोल होता है. So they are very important because remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words, the ancient proverb. And your slides should offer a brief summary of points and plenty of illustrations or a bar graph or a pie chart, because these concepts, it actually makes it clear and to the audience. The audience is able to grasp a pie graph or a pie chart better rather than two paragraphs of text written. So they are able to grasp because it's easy to grasp, it's easy to understand. अगर आपको दो चीज़ों में comparison करना है, rather than putting it in words, put it in terms of a bar graph. The comparison, the figure will be seen and it will be taken in very easily by your audience. So use plenty of visuals and in whatever concepts that you want to, and so that the audience is able to understand you better. And whenever you whenever you are looking for the contents of your presentation, एक चीज़ जो हमें ध्यान में रखना होगा कि हमारा audience कौन है, who is our audience, because we are making the presentation for the audience. It's not about you, the presenter, but for the audience who is going to come and watch you deliver that talk or that lecture. So you have to keep in mind what strata of society do they come from. आपकी audience जो है वो समाज के कौन से वर्ग से आती है, कौन कौन सी भाषाएं वो बोलते हैं, do they speak, and what expectations do they have, उनकी उम्मीदें क्या हैं, आपके इस presentation से वो क्या उम्मीद लेकर के आए. All these are vital, points of presentation. They are vital points so that you actually make the contents accordingly. क्योंकि आप अगर एक presentation आप class 6 के बच्चों को देने जा रहे हो स्कूल में, वो content different होगा बनस्पत कि आप किसी startup में आप एक presentation दे रहे हो जहाँ पे कि बहुत से entrepreneurs हैं वहाँ पे, and you want to motivate them to invest in your startup. So they are different. Their skill level is different, their maturity level is different, and their intellectual level is also different. So presentations cannot be the same for both the groups. And what else can you do? Practice is a very important tool. You must practice with a friend or in terms of your family. Deliver the talk or maybe on a laptop. If you don't have a projector at home, no problems. You can deliver the talk on your laptop in front of your family members. They will create they will recreate the environment of the auditorium in front of you, and you can actually deliver this thing in a real life situation. That is what the position will be. Encourage your family members while in practice to ask you questions and to participate, just as you would like the people in the auditorium to participate in your discussion. And practice run through the whole conversation, the whole presentation rather, in a proper manner, because in many places when you go to present yourself, where you go to give your presentation, they actually give you a time limit. So you need to practice and see that you're able to run through the presentation within the time limit stipulated or allotted to you. So that is a good tool when you practice in front of your family members. Maybe your younger brother or sister may get inspired by you and might become a good speaker or a good presenter just by watching you. Then there are other points as well. You need to be very positive in your outlook, because positivity, being positive and upbeat will send positive vibes to your audience and thereby create a congenial atmosphere. Now, when you send positive vibes, the spectators or your audience, they too will respond positively. They will listen with intent and they will participate in the discussions. So that positivity has rubbed off onto the audience. Now the next section, let us look at some pointers to organize your lessons or to organize your ideas in the, because हम लोग को हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ दिक्कतें आती हैं कि हम अपने आइडियाज तो बहुत सारे हैं, उनको कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज करके और उसको फिट करें अपने स्लाइड्स में, जो पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन है. सो इन द फर्स्ट 2 slides you should actually show an outline. It should provide an outline or a roadmap. What does that mean? It gives direction. आप किस फ्लो में बढ़ेंगे, आपका जो प्रेजेंटेशन है वो किस दिशा में बढ़ेगा, वो निर्धारित करता है. सो प्लीज in the first 2 slides draw a roadmap. What is the topic about? What is the message that you want to convey? And are there any assumptions? And then this outline will lay the boundaries. उस दायरे में आपका presentation रहेगा, so that you have a focused approach on what you're trying to convey, the ideas that you're trying to sell. And of course, you need to organize the body or the presentation in a logical fashion. What does that mean? The sequence, it means that the sequence of your content must be in a logical manner. अब लॉजिकल क्या है, ये आप अपने विवेक में, आपके विवेक पे छोड़ता हूँ कि इस टॉपिक के बाद ये टॉपिक के बाद एक फ्लो होना चाहिए कंटिन्यूअस, सो दैट it does not appear haphazard to the viewers or the audience. Pay attention to what comes after what, so as to make the presentations free flowing. Your presentation should have an opening, a body, and a conclusion. It is key, it's absolutely essential for a successful presentation that the audience participates, because that is the full two-way communication. And communication is always 2 ways, it's never one way. It's not a monologue but a dialogue in which the speaker, he plans ways to involve the audience. An interactive session will keep the audience involved and responsive. It is desirable to have a two-way communication, because in that way the audience is always alert, and that allows you to build a rapport with the audience. So once you have a good rapport with them, they will listen to you, they will pay attention to your words, and they will concur with you, your ideas they will agree to. So you must devise ways in your presentation of getting the audience to participate. Maintaining credibility is also an important fact. What does that mean? Now, when आप जब आप बोलने जा रहे हो वहाँ पे, तो ऑडियंस मान के चलती है कि आप उस सब्जेक्ट में, जिस टॉपिक पे आप बोल रहे हो, आप उसमें विशेषज्ञ हो. You are a specialist. You specialize in some way. That is why, because your presentation is your own belief. It's the truth that you believe in. You stand by it. So that is why you are there, to convince others. So maintaining credibility, that when they look onto you, they look on to you as a knowledgeable person, as one who is confident in the way he speaks and is confident about the content of his presentation. So that kind of a credibility you must maintain, where the audience trusts you with the knowledge level that you are showing you. And then of course you conclude with a plan of action. There's always, at the conclusion, there is always a plan of action. What in future, what else do you plan to do? What future actions do you plan to take? So that should end on a high note, any conclusion. And you must spell out your plan of action very, very clearly, that in order to convince the audience, a plan of action has to be mentioned very clearly. The use of visual aids is highly advocated, because the audio-visual impact on the audience is far greater than just an audio or just a video with no audio. That sounds impractical, but yes, in certain lessons you have, in certain presentations earlier, when technology was not freely available, we had just audio clips and people heard that. But now the audio-visual aids ensure a better reception, a better understanding. So ensure your presentation has plenty of visuals and illustrations. Graphs and charts can always drive home your point more concisely and to the point than words. शायद आप जो आपका जो ग्राफ है वो अपने आप में एक डायग्राम में जो एक ग्राफ बता सकता है, आपको शायद 2 पैराग्राफ शब्दों में चाहिए होगा उस सेम चीज़ को एक्सप्लेन करने का. So it is better that you have graphs, charts because the audience finds it more appealing, and the visual appeal to the audience is far greater for diagrams and charts rather than written text. And as a advice, I would like to tell you that you should always have plan B in place. Now, what exactly is plan B? Let me explain that. Technological glitches can ruin your day. I've seen on 1 or 2 occasions, it doesn't happen very frequently, but technology is a good servant, but a rather bad master. So that's in one of the presentation that I was a audience, I noticed that someone's pen drive, it actually got corrupted and it could not transfer the presentation onto the computer. So that particular gentleman had to call off the presentation because it was not. So technology can never be trusted in always. So what if the laptop doesn't work or your pen drive gets corrupted? It's always a good practice to carry small index cards, small index cards with all the points written on it. They serve as a memory aid. If the projector doesn't work or the laptop crashes and there is no spare laptop, you can always go ahead with the presentation by elaborating the points that you have on the index card. Small piece of card. Don't use a A4 sheet paper because it will be flying around everywhere. So use index card as a memory aid, and you should have practiced that with those points you can elaborate the points further. At least your session will go ahead. It will not be like it just didn't happen because of technological glitches. So always have a plan B in place. That's the reason why I recommend that. And then, of course, coming to the presentation skills. This is the third part of the thing, of my talk here, that the presentation skills are very important. The presentation style and your confidence are as important as the content. Because remember that your presentation will not talk by itself. It's you who have to do the talking. Because whatever is written, that if everybody reads according to their own this thing, everyone has a different point of view. Everyone will interpret your slides, the writing on your slides in their own way. So how do you come to a consensus that everybody is on the same page? When you speak and you let them know that this is what you mean by the writings on the slides. So that is the reason why I said your slides will not talk for themselves. You have to talk. And don't just trust the written words on the slides, because at times everybody is going to interpret it in their own way. One of the other very important aspects of the presentation while you're presenting is energy and enthusiasm. Because when you sound energetic and enthusiastic of what you have to say, this keeps the audience engaged and they're attentive to what you're saying. If I was probably speaking in a dull monologue way right now, you would probably fall off to sleep. Now, I am trying to use, at least I hope that I'm sounding energetic, because I'm putting in all the efforts to sound energetic and enthusiastic. So, energy and enthusiasm, it motivates people to listen. It keeps them engrossed in the conversation. So they are actually thinking and participating. They enjoy the interaction even more when someone speaks with energy and enthusiasm. सब लोग, आप लोग यंग हैं, ऊर्जा से भरपूर हैं, वो ऊर्जा को बाहर निकलने दीजिए जब आप बात करते हैं, at least on stage. That is the way. And the body language. मैंने पहले किसी क्लास में 6th semester के साथ में था जहाँ पे we spoke about positive body language. The body language is a very important non-verbal communication. It communicates, it tells a lot about you to people around you. the way you sit. If I was sitting here and slouching like this, then I would sound very different, and I would actually be sending negative vibes to all my viewers right now. So the way you sit, you should stand erect when you go to speak, because you are running the show. All eyes are on you, and you should stand erect. You should not fidget with your fingers or your hair, uh, because these are all negative body language. Don't lean on the podium that you're supposed to speak on, or don't start shaking your legs, or don't put your hands in your pockets, because all these amount to negative body language, and that is how your audience will view. If it probably speaks very little of you as a speaker, because it tells most people around in the audience that he is shaking his leg, his confidence is shaking as well. So, do we really want to listen to him? That might be the question. Your voice and tone are also an important tool as far as your presentation skills are concerned. Modulate your voice and tone, bring it up and down. You know, don't speak in a dull, flat tone, because in a dull, flat tone, it shows lack of interest. You're not. If I was not interested in this particular topic and talking properly to you, I would speak on a dull, flat note. Right, I'm speaking right now. So this is what I mean by a dull, flat note. Stress on relevant words. You must. जब आप किसी words पे आप उसके importance जताना चाहते हैं उस शब्द का सब लोगों के सामने, then you lay special emphasis or special emphasis, उस पे आप ज़्यादा जोर देते हैं. जब आप ये करते हैं तो आपका voice modulate होता है. People will watch you. People will listen to you. In presentations, I think most people, students जो हैं हमारे जो ये session देख रहे हैं, you might think that कोई joke crack करना एक presentation के दौरान ये अच्छा नहीं होगा. It's a formal occasion. Can we crack a joke? Is it acceptable? Of course it is acceptable. Your sense of humor is an important personality trait of you. So that actually exhibits the kind of person that you are. And you can easily crack a joke or exhibit your sense of humor. And of course, the joke must be in context to your topic or to the talk that you're giving. But that is very much acceptable. In this way, when you crack a joke, the people laugh at your joke, and you actually develop a rapport. You connect with the audience. And for any talk session or a communication to be successful, there must be a connect between the speaker and the audience. The connect must be there. And remember that sense of humor is an integral part. Wherever you can, drop in a joke, drop in a line of laughter, or mention a quotation which is famous and which is relevant to the presentation that you're making. These things actually go a long way in holding the audience attention. Remember, your presentation is both intellectual and emotional. Your content should be intellectual. एक खास बुद्धिजीवी वर्ग के लिए बना हुआ है या इवन बच्चों के लिए बना हुआ है, तो उसमें इंटेलेक्ट होना चाहिए. And you should be emotional about your presentation because you stand for it. आप vouch कर रहे हैं. You are promising that these words, एक विश्वास है आपको अपने presentation में. So you should be attached to it emotionally as well. And there's one more section wherein the presenter handles questions from the audience. Now I know most presenters hate this particular section because they're afraid of what questions might be thrown at them by the audience. But remember, there is nobody or very few people in the audience who actually want to disrupt the proceedings. ऐसे कहीं कहीं आपको एक दुक्का लोग मिलेंगे जो सभा में व्यवधान डालना चाहेंगे या आपको ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे वो लोग जो जिसका कि कोई तुक नहीं है इस पर्टिकुलर सेशन में, या वो आप इट इज़ बियॉन्ड द बाउंड्रीज, it's deviating the topic, going ahead of the topic. But don't worry, not all people are like that. You don't get such kind of disruptive people in all kind of sessions. But in fact, you should encourage your audience to ask questions, because that is the true meaning of a session. It's interactive, the audience is responding, and everything is going at a pace. So rather than a one-sided communication, it's a two-sided communication. So the best way, let's find out ways of how you can handle questions of the audience. First of all, I urge you to anticipate questions. जो बहुत सारे आप अगर एग्जाम भी देते हैं, आप कोई लेसन की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें जब आप पढ़ते हैं, when you study that lesson, you come across certain points that yes, ये question बनता है, this question can come in exam, and this question can also come, this question can come in the short answers, objective type में. So any intelligent person can actually, to a certain extent, predict कि कहाँ पे question बनता है. वो question आएगा exam में या नहीं आएगा, ये तयशुदा तो कोई नहीं कह सकता, but you can actually assume that yes, this is a question that can be asked. So similarly, I want all the speakers to anticipate the questions. Make a list of questions that the audience is most likely to ask after going through your content. Be prepared with their answers. And if you know the topic well, you should be able to predict the questions that the audience is going to put to you. That is important. You should be able to predict. Rehearse the difficult answers before the event. So kai baar practice and rehearse those difficult answers so that if that is asked, you are prepared. And obtain as much extra information as you can about your subject, because sometimes the audience may ask you questions that are beyond the limit, that is beyond the boundaries of your presentation or your subject that you present. But rather than, if you prepare well for and you rehearse and you obtain extra information, it will be absolutely flattering to answer them that particular question, even if it's beyond the boundary. In today's world and in business ethics, there's one thing which is gaining more and more importance, and that is honesty. So when you are presenting a particular topic and you are asked a question that you have no clue what the answer is, don't panic. Do not panic. You are a human being. You're not a computer. You're not a robot. So you can just tell them, it's absolutely human to say that, I'm sorry, Mr. So-and-so, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't know the answer to this particular question. But maybe we can meet after this session and maybe you can share your phone number. I will look for that particular answer and I'll get back to you on email or on your mobile phone. So you can always say that. It's absolutely okay in not knowing something. But इसमें गलती तब लोग करते हैं जब वो बैठे हुए लोगों में उनको घुमाने की कोशिश करते हैं. When you come up with, if I say I don't know, that will be viewed very negatively. So let me just throw anything at them. When you are trying to mislead the audience, that is being dishonest. And somehow the audience will know that you have no clue because of the lack of confidence in answering the question, or someone in the group might know the answer to that particular question. So they will know that you are trying to fool them, or you're trying to take them round and round without actually having any knowledge about it yourself. So never try and fool the audience with incorrect information. Never. You don't know, say so. Sorry, I don't know. And then I mentioned before that you need to involve the audience in your presentation, in your talk. So ask thought-provoking questions from the audience. This type of questions will force them to think and involve them. It will involve them. They will be more involved. It will also help them it will help you to keep the audience alert and on their toes. And ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions to which answers are rather long. So that actually will it will enable the audience to talk at length, to discuss their views, rather than if you ask close-ended questions, they might reply in a yes or a no, or short one-word answers. You want the audience to get talking, right? So ask them open-ended questions that keeps them busy throughout. And there is one kind of a little bit of a problem while when we take questions from the people, from the audience. We tend to get diverted from the topic. So you must be focused on what you have set out to do. You have set out to convince the audience about your idea, about your product, whatever the case might be, or of a service which you want them to subscribe to. So if you deviate from the topic, you're going to dilute your content, your focus, you're going to lose the focus. So in order to avoid that, make a conscious effort to stick to the topic. If someone asks you a question which diverts you from the topic, tell that person very gently and very politely that, sir, I think that this particular topic is going beyond my boundary of discussion. So can we discuss this after the session? Will that be okay with you? Now, if you ask such a question, no gentleman is saying that, no, I want the answer now. They will say, okay, we'll have a discussion after the session. So while interacting with the audience, we must make a conscious effort not to be waylaid, but to stick to the topic. And of course, we have, in some sessions, you might come across hijackers. Now, what exactly are hijackers? Hijackers are certain disruptive elements within the audience who always want to kind of embarrass the speaker by asking questions that are non-relevant, out of context, and they keep on asking those questions over and over again. And you as a speaker have to control that. It is your responsibility to control the whole show that you're running. After all, it's your show and you are the presenter. So the best way to tackle, although hijackers don't come across very often, but in case they do, there are certain ways. The method that I would like to advocate to you is shift the limelight onto them. Why don't you ask a return question, maybe one or two questions, so that everyone's looking at them. And now when that happens, it kind of embarrasses the hijacker, and everybody around them knows that this person has nothing constructive to contribute, but is just trying to derail the whole talk or the show. So these are ways in which you control hijackers, and if you followed all these points, you will definitely have the wow factor, which most the audience looks for in presentations. So if go ahead right now, and with that I come to the conclusion of my rather short talk, and I'll be back with future in the near future with other presentations, other topics. I would like suggestions from you all as to which topic you would like me to make a presentation or a talk on, in which we can talk about it. And I would definitely like to be back. And meanwhile, I just want to remind you that please subscribe to the CIMAGE YouTube live channel, and you can get updates on a regular basis. And once you subscribe, you will be enlisting to an array of support material from IT and management, and of course English as well. So with this, I sign off for today. I hope this session was entertaining, as well as you had some takeaway points that you can take home and talk about and build that great wow factor in the next presentation that you do. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. Stay safe. Be happy. Bye-bye.